So welcome to Comic-Con.
Thank
Lots
you.
of fun to be had, right?
Absolutely.
Well, and you should enjoy it because you're here for a couple reasons too, right?
Yeah.
A little She-Ra action as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
So you're excited for what have you seen the difference of those fans? It's always fun to see like a little She-Ra fan and Superstore fan. Like, how do you see it?
We have a lot of crossover, believe it or not. I feel like both shows kind of appeal to an interesting demographic. Obviously, She-Ra, we also have a lot of young fans, which has been really great. I think it's such a great show, and I'm really excited that young people have that show to grow up on. I loved She-Ra as a kid. It was obviously very different back then. It was drawn very differently, and I think it's pretty cool that we've got this like new, more modernized, more of the moment version. I think it's really cool.
So let's talk about the show, and I guess, where do we begin this season? Is there a time jump? Is it like a couple minutes after the van goes by? I mean, where are we at?
Listen, we don't know. This is the thing. They don't tell the actors anything. We get a script a week before we shoot it, and prior to that, they tell us nothing. So there has been time. I wrote an episode in season 3, so at that time I had a little more insight, but now the door's closed. Your guess is as good as mine. I can't wait to find out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then this is going to be a very different interview then, because you can't say anything.
I have nothing to tell you, and I'm not being glib.
Right.
I have nothing to tell you.
So we're going to expect Godzilla. I mean, it could happen.
Could happen.
You don't know. That's
Who
the thing
knows?
too.
Absolutely.
You know what? I guess one thing we are looking forward to is the connection between you and Garrett, right? So the birds being lost, things like that. Is that something you're kind of looking forward to?
Listen, I'm very curious to see where we go with that, because obviously we had them kind of get back together on a very short-term basis. Then she discovers that he is responsible for the bird's disappearance. She burns the shoes. I don't know where we're going to come in. I don't know what temperature Dina's at this point. You know what I mean? My hope is that she's red hot, because that's always a fun dynamic to play.
I heard you guys don't know what's going to happen next season yet, right?
Well, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I mean, we're going to work in the store.
So, well, I mean, for you, I guess
get it too crazy.
One of my first, my thoughts are: do burning shoes equal birds be gone, or what is that?
I don't know. I think that we might have to see Garrett go through some post-traumatic stress. Maybe go through some therapy, because he definitely lost a big part of his heart.
And then, one of the cool things is, as you started the series, it was you and Garrett and Jonah a lot now, but you're having a little different team up. So you're looking forward to maybe a new one too?
Oh yeah, always. That's the fun thing, is that we kind of like jump around and try different things every episode. Let's see what these two characters can get into. So always, man, I'd like to see Garrett and Glenn get on an adventure.
You don't know anything about in the next season, of course. But,
all right.
But there's
People
a lot
came through and already told you that.
Yeah. But there's a lot of cans opened already. I mean, relationship, union,
ice.
There's probably ice as well. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff now. And so, is it hard thinking? Okay, I'm gonna have to be part and in charge of the scene without actually delivering, because that's what Jonah's thing is sometimes. Is kind of, he has the heart, but not necessarily the capability to take it 100% of the way.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that, because I think one of Jonah's struggles or paths this coming season is going to be finding his own voice and trying to take charge. You heard it here first. That's an actual spoiler for season 5, vague though it might be. But yeah, you hit on something that is very much a thing for Jonah. I think it's time for him to kind of feel out who he is and how he can lead something.
So what is something you would look forward to if they did add to you? Like, would you like to see the rest of Cheyenne's family maybe? What built Cheyenne? All these things like that.
I want to see more of Cheyenne's daughter, Harmonica, because we have not gotten a glimpse of her in a couple seasons, and sometimes I forget, oh yeah, I'm playing a mom. It's really weird, but kids are expensive to have on set, I guess.
Wow.
So it's a little complicated, but yeah, I want to have my baby with me.
How about baby daddy? Is he gonna come back around?
Oh yeah, I requested that. I was like, where is Johnny Pemberton? He's amazing. He's one of the funniest people I've worked with, so he's definitely gonna be back.
I know you don't know what's happening next season or any of that stuff, but I do want to ask you, that scene at the end where you're driving, you're going around. How many times do you have to drive around and look sad?
We did that scene quite a bit, and it was very emotionally draining.
Yeah.
It was a hard episode to film in general, because the episode was so triggering to film. But I do remember doing several takes where I'm in the van and I'm looking out at my Cloud9 family, and they had me say, oh, just wave to your coworkers and say, everything's gonna be all right, you're gonna be fine. And I did, and everybody just started bawling, and I was like, okay, oh my God, this is it was affecting everybody deeply. It was a really hard week.
So you got a chance to play with that moment a couple different times, different say things. Did you try to be strong in any of them or anything, or it was always going to be a somber moment?
It was always going to be a somber moment. I mean, like we wanted to honor the story. We wanted to honor what was going to happen to Mateo. We didn't, we already did a lot of. We were. There's only so much about deportation that you can make funny, but yeah, it was just it was such a difficult week to get through.
One of the things I hope we see this next season is another power team up with you, Mateo and Cheyenne. You know how
people love some Mateo.
Well, there's so much judgment in that little sphere that it's like a storm.
I love it. It is one of my favorite combinations when I get to play around with Nicole, because we just get to be silly and stupid together, and it's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite.
So we're looking forward to it. We know you don't know anything what's happening next season. You know nothing.
Nothing.
Right? But you know what? You came from the improv world. Just improv the next season for us. Go.
Okay, so let's see. There's going to be Amazon is going to move in a box store across from us. We're going to go to war. We're going to burn it down. That's going to cause sort of a civil situation. It's going to be misinterpreted as a political terrorist event. We all die. No, scratch that. Let's see. Oh, okay, finally. There's a solution to the UFOs that everybody's been spotting off the Pacific coast and off the New York coast. Turns out they're here to shop.
Yeah. I would believe that, and for some reason, Glenn not being part of this planet would make sense a little bit too.
Somewhere in one of his scriptures, it's predicted. So he's the only one that's not surprised or put off. Let's get to it. The aliens are here.
Now, do you use that voice in other places? Just when you're going stuff, or you're like shopping, or you're trying to get the checkout girl, you just like give the voice to him.
Oh, you mean like lean into it and try and get
just lean into the voice.
Character discount, small C celebrity discount.
Have you ever gone into like a grocery store and that you were Glenn the whole time, the whole shopping experience? These aren't supposed to be here,
Maybe I would do that for fun. I would prank somebody if asked to do it. But one thing I like about Glenn is because of my voice and because I don't wear glasses, I can go, Yeah.
That's awesome. So, since you don't know the next season, but are you looking forward to maybe some more power dynamic changes this next season, perhaps? Because Glenn has gone, down a step in power, but he's still kind of, he wants to be the father figure.
He is ever going to be the expert in the father figure, and he'll probably try and reclaim some of his status at some point, I'm guessing, but we'll see.
Was it fun to use his anger? When he had some frustrating moments.
I love his anger because it's so uncontrollable, and again, shamefully, a little bit like me when I lose it. Yeah.
What's it you hope for next season? You don't have any answers, but a lot of things have happened. You're in charge now. The relationship. We're talking to Nicole, and she's like, "I'd love to see harmonica again. I have a kid. I forgot. You have a kid too.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So what would you kind of look forward to, and hopefully we kind of touch on this season?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of great stuff in store for Amy. What would I hope for? Yeah, we haven't seen, Amy had a kid last year, and we've never seen that kid. So he's probably 2 by now.
You're right.
A reminder of Amy's children would be nice.
She's a mom. She can do it all. So it's just part of the world she's living in too.
She's trying. Yeah.
What was your favorite moment of last season? Do you remember the favorite moment where you just you still kind of smile back at it and go, "That was a good year"?
Yeah, I remember the maternity leave episode for Amy, where the episode where Amy has to come back to work 48 hours after giving birth, and there are 2 moments that I just loved so much. One was the big meltdown, breakdown she has at Glenn when I get to yell all kinds of obscenities at him. But I also had just had a child, so it was right on the surface for me and very cathartic. And there was a fabulous writer-director, Jackie Clark, who had written it, and she and I had shared so many stories about motherhood, and it was just a blast. The improvising, the throwing in, the harsh truth. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this on your show, but she threw the line at me about my doctor looked at my a-hole and said, "Whoa, have you ever had a doctor look at your a-hole and say whoa?" It was about the hemorrhoids. Look, the moms feel me, and it was just so fun and so crazy, and getting to do a portrayal of brand new mother having to go back to work and having like so much reign and so much freedom to be fun about it, but also as bold and real about it as possible was just, for me, one of the highlights of the season.